Welcome back, guys. We are here with Sumeya and we are touring her rent-to-rent unit where she is making a £1,000 per month profit. Let's go have a look at the property. And you framed your company name.
Yeah.
Where did you get the inspiration for this from?
I was actually got it from Leena, because obviously
From
she was
Neha.
helping us quite a bit and she
Yeah.
gave us that tip.
And just for the viewers that might be watching that don't know who Neha is, can you explain?
Yeah, so she's one of the mentors who work with Uzma and Leena, and she's been really helpful and has helped us throughout the journey.
Like when I come here, it seems like this kitchen has been awarded for something. What does hardy mean?
So it actually means like guided nights. We wanted to have that sort of Arabian night feel.
How much did it cost then to furnish the property?
It was about give or take £3,000 with everything.
Where did you get everything from?
So there's actually a local business that does service accommodation packages in Leicester. Because I didn't want to invest in cheaper stuff. I would prefer the long term, sort of more wear on it. So I went to them, picked out all my furniture. They delivered it, set it all up for me, sorted.
Wow, so you paid £3,000 for someone to just come in, furnish and build.
Yeah, and it was just the little things like the chairs, the benches, all of those bits I got myself.
It adds up because me and Leena, we spent weeks just building, and just to build one side table would probably take us 2 hours. And all these little things, they accumulate into literally days and weeks. How long was the turnover for the people to come in, build everything and just leave?
So it took about a week and a half. So we actually signed the contract to the keys a week before Ramadan. So I didn't want to be doing it throughout Ramadan. So I was like, okay, let me get onto it. So we did go to IKEA and bought a few things that were like, okay, it's too expensive in their package. We could probably do that ourselves. And it was just the main things like the beds, sofa, dining table, all of that. They bought it in, set it up for you. And within like that week, came, built all the stuff.
What were you doing during that 1 week then?
So I was actually working full time, so I would come here, sit with my laptop in meetings and I'm just screwing the bench. So yeah.
This is a beautiful kitchen. So Sumeya, do you want to break down the numbers for this unit?
Yeah, so we're paying £1,100 in rent. Bills come up to about £400. Our nightly rate at the minute is 140. In summertime it goes all the way up to 200. If we talk about like 70% occupancy, we're making about £1,000 in profit. And of course like that will go up with the summertime.
Before we came in here, you mentioned that this property was fully booked for a month. Since when it went live, has it been booked ever since?
No, so we went live 2 months ago, exactly now. For the first month we had one long booking for 2 weeks, but that was it, and then we had a couple of weekends. That's because we allowed like the minimum stay was 2 days, so we had people booking over the weekend. And then it literally picked up this month. We've just had bookings left, right and centre. We've had 2 long bookings for two weeks and then 3 weeks.
How much were the bookings?
So for the first one, I think it was 1,500 for the 2 weeks, but we've got a discount on at the minute. And then that person is actually coming back this month and they booked directly with our website.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. And then we've had a couple of weekend bookings.
Why do you think they're coming back?
I mean, look at the apartment. I would hope that's why. I think also the service that we offer, and the premium aspect that we want guests to feel as well. And yeah, I think we've got enough amenities as well. I think it was a family that came. We've got a load of games for them. We've got a little basketball hoop so they can shoot some hoops. Books. I think that is just a good selling point as well for families.
How does it make you feel that you're literally making money online?
It is weird. It is so weird because when I see it come, like I get a notification on the bank, I'm like, I didn't do a lot to get that. So yeah, it feels surreal to be honest. I always see other people making it. I never once thought that it could be me or be me and my business partner. You are your biggest enemy and you constantly look at others and compare yourself to others and where they are. And one thing I've learned is on this journey is if you look too far at the finish line, you forget the steps in front of you. But when you look at the steps in front of you, the finish line is right there. So, and that's one thing, it's just taking things a step at a time, understanding where your limits are and understanding that not everything will go to plan. If you need a break, take that break. Your mental health and your emotional well-being is way more important, and that's something that we did prioritise in this journey. I think growing up, I had like a wonderful childhood. I can't fault the way my parents brought me and my sisters up, honestly. You know, we got everything. We weren't deprived of anything. We got good food, we got holidays, all of that. But inevitably, when you get older, you see the struggle and the stress of the financial stress and the impact it has on family dynamics. And I look at myself today and I think it's not getting any better. The cost of living crisis, if anything, it's going to be worse for our generation. And while I can accept that that's the case, what I won't accept and I won't tolerate is that later on down the line, I will regret not doing anything about it, having had the tools to do so. And I have the tools to do so, why not make the difference? And I think also there's a big stigma around women who are, you know, Muslim women who, for me, my ultimate dream is to be a housewife. I'll be so real. I want to be able to give time to my future family unconditionally without having that, oh, I've just finished work, I'm tired. And I don't think you can't dream of that in a country like this because of the cost of living. So my aim is to relieve some of that financial stress from my partner for the sake of my family, and also so that I can give back to my parents, so give them what they gave me when I was young. And I feel like that's the way forward. And you know, there is a stigma around women who want to be housewives, people associate it with, you know, they're uneducated, they're dependent. Yeah, some go as far to say that we're oppressed, but to me, I just think, well, who said we can't do both? We can literally do both, and I'm doing both, so why not?
Yeah, because you can run this business, you know, from the comfort of your laptop at home. Like literally, like myself and Uzma, we have our units in the UK, but we're living in Dubai. You can balance both staying at home, looking after your family, and still being able to run a business if, of course, you hire out a power team, such as cleaners, electricians, etc. It's like a king size. What size?
It is a king size. So it's two single beds which are zip linked together.
Amazing. It fits right in.
That pillow is just really annoying though. But if, for example, we had business contractors, they've got that option to split the bed apart.
When it comes to the bookings that you receive, what kind of guests are you attracting at the moment?
So far, I would say a lot of families. We've had a lot of couples with young kids. That's been predominantly what we've received so far.
What's the reason why they come here?
I think a lot of them have come from abroad, or they're visiting family, and it's just in the locality, like it's literally across the road, 10-minute walk, you're in the city centre, so it's convenient, you have everything there available.
You mentioned, Sumeya, in the living room, you had an amazing childhood, you can't fault anything, and when you grew up, you started noticing, actually, you know, my parents made a sacrifice here. Like, you started putting things together that you didn't realise when you were young, and I'm sure they know about service accommodation and what you're doing. Are they supportive of it?
Oh, 100%. I literally could not have done it without my parents. My dad is the best handyman ever. He helped me with a lot of things. He even gave me advice sometimes when we were going to viewings and stuff. And I think initially when we were going to viewings, in my head I was like, am I just being blinded by the idea of having a unit? Am I not really looking at what Uzma and Leena have told us and have, you know, encouraged us to look at in the programme? Like, you know, all your confluences, like looking at, you know, things like the painting, the grouting in the tiles, damp, switches, all of that sort of stuff, the quality, even the communal areas. Like, my dad built that cabinet over there, he helped me build this. He was here to make sure that, you know, they were coming and putting the furniture in properly, to make sure, you know, ask any questions, or if anything wasn't right or damaged, he was there. A bit like my own security guard.
Wow.
Yeah, and then same with my sisters, they've been super supportive on the journey. It's been really nice to have family there, and they've never once said, what are you doing? You know, they've always been like, you know, just make sure you do your due diligence, as you guys promote us to do in the programme. And I don't have any brothers, and in Islam, you know, the responsibility falls with the son to provide and protect once your parents get old. I don't have any brothers, so that responsibility amongst me and my sisters. And I'm the youngest now, I'm the youngest of three. For me, it's like when they get old, wherever I am in the world, whatever I'm doing in the world, I want to be able to be there for them and at least give something to them. But also I want to have my own family and be able to raise my own children. And I can't do that working 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5 now, and I feel like I'm already 1 foot in the grave. It's that hard. And I hope that I could retire my parents early and, you know, help them out a little bit.
I love that for you. Yeah, that's incredible. So what is something that you wish you knew when you
first started?
I think the biggest thing is that you are the only barrier to making that progress. I think we're scared by numbers, and when I saw the investment and everything, I was like, oh, do I want to risk this? And then I realised so far, through all the different prospects that I've tried, the reason why I haven't been successful is because I wasn't willing to risk that investment. I was willing to do the time, but the money side of things I wasn't willing to do. And all it takes is you to do a bit more research. For me, is asking Allah to guide me, and if it's right for me, then put goodness in it. It's just understanding that you are your biggest barrier. And if there's any doubt, the best thing to go to is your Lord. You can do as much diligence as you want, do as much research as you want, but ultimately that's the best answer that you're gonna get.
I'm sure that it wasn't just smooth sailing and that you did have to overcome a few barriers. So what were the hardships that you faced during your journey?
It's that battle with yourself. I'd go to viewings and that urgency and constantly comparing yourself to other people, like, oh, people have already got units. They started the program at the same time as us, but they've already got units. And it's that pressure to be at a certain point in time.
Were you keeping tabs with like the other individuals that were
exactly
standing?
it.
And
And
you're
it's,
like, how far are you?
and it's only natural, it's something that all humans do, is you compare yourself to others to see how far you've come. And I think it was making sure that every time that happened, I just brought myself back down to earth again, and I'm like, this is not going to happen overnight. I've got completely different circumstances to other people. I don't know what's going on in other people's lives, and making sure that, I stick to the blueprint that you guys have provided for us, and making sure I'm not wavered by my own mental, emotional state at that time. I think for me that was the biggest barrier, definitely, for sure.
I think one thing that people need to understand is that when they study throughout the education system, they've spent maybe 6 years or even 8 years or maybe even 10 years through just educating themselves, secondary school, college, university. 10 years plus maybe an additional 30 grand as well, and they only come out earning 2 grand a month starting. And even then, you'll get rejections right at the center, even for a job. If you spent 10 years in business, you would be a millionaire. Truthfully speaking, 10 years is a very long time, and if you just keep compounding year after year, you could literally become a millionaire. But people want to see the instant results.
Yeah.
And I think we put a lot of faith into the schooling system and not into ourselves. We're willing to bet on the government, our bosses, everyone around us, but we're not willing to bet on ourselves. And I think that's the hard pill that you have to kind of swallow at one point in your life. We spoke to just Irvi on our last tour, and she's earning with her 5 properties now about 3.5k in low season. If you can imagine high season, what that's going to be like, it's going to be incredible. And she was talking about how her peers right now are stressing, looking for a job, and no one's accepting them. And everyone's looking at her saying, oh, you're a businesswoman, you got it easy. But actually they don't see that she had to make so many sacrifices in that 1 year when she was doing university and she was also working on her business. And I'm sure you had to make a lot of sacrifice at that as well yourself.
And it goes back to saying that you guys live by, and you've said it a couple of times, where 30 years of pain for 5 years of pleasure, or is it 5 years of pain for 30 years of pleasure? And that's exactly, I was like, that is it. You have the ability to control your life, but it's only you that you're holding back. You're holding back because of you, that's it.
Big takeaway, everyone, which is if you bet on anyone apart from yourself, you will only be living their dreams. You will not get closer to your dreams. Whereas if you bet on yourself, the world is your oyster. You could do anything with it.